Well, let's just kick it off with the main event. DDP, Sean Strickland. You know, if you watched this show last week, I told you, went back, watched this fight several times, twice full from start to finish. I still scored it for Strickland. And then when you think about the rematch, my whole thing was who's going to be able to fine-tune their game plan to put a bigger gap and score more rounds. And I just didn't see how Sean Strickland was going to be able to do that and be able to beat DDP. I was rooting for Sean Strickland. I want him to win this fight. I just didn't see a path to victory. I just didn't see it. Even if he mimicked what he did in the first fight, again, he lost that fight. I think he won. I think Luke Thomas had him win. Rogan had him win. Some guys in the space, you know what the hell they're talking about, had Sean Strickland win that fight. But when you watch it, like, oh man, DDP's going to make some changes here, and it's going to get tough for Strickland. And Strickland is a guy that the reason he got to this level of stardom, this level of high competition, is not because he's a knockout artist. It's not because he's some insane finisher. It's not because he has some, insane combination, a left hand like Alex Pereira. He doesn't have this insane ground and pound like a Khabib or some one-shot knockout power like Francis. Take all that entertaining stuff out. The reason Sean Strickland got to the top of the heap the way he has is because of his defense. That's it. Defense and pressure. That's it. That's what got him to the dance. So when you look at that, you look at the way his fighting style, which he's never changed his entire career. He's never changed. Ever. Great defense, volume punching. He's going to melt you if you don't come correct with your cardio. But you get to a certain level, at a tip of the spear level, a guy like DDP, these other guys, where that's not enough to beat the tip of the spear guys. And that's what he's run into. And there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. For those saying, oh, he should have went out on his shield, he should have done this, should have done that. Dottie! For those people saying, oh, he said he was going to go out on his shield, he's going to leave it all in there. Of course he says that. These guys with a fighting style, for the casual, they think it's boring. I don't. I'll watch Strickland fight all goddamn day. I'll watch DDP fight all day. I enjoy John Fitch. Khabib, there's certain styles that I like to see. So I can appreciate their level of just what their game plan is against the rest of the division. It might not be a first-round knockout, but I can appreciate it. They're so good at it. Floyd Mayweather, I can appreciate it. Later in his career, before he used to be a killer, but later in his career, defensive fighter, I can appreciate all that high-level stuff when they're winning. But when a guy has a skill set like a Sean Strickland, like a Colby Covington, a Chael Sonnen, in order to become a fan favorite, in order to create a intrigue in their fights, which is what every fighter wants, they have to come up with some sort of shtick. They have to. So for Strickland, when you see him at the press conference, you see him leading into the fight week going, I'm willing to die in there. You're going to see me get a finish. He's selling you on the fight. Now, does he believe some of that stuff? Of course he does. But when you see him in those pre-fight interviews, when you see him at the press conference, he's at a 10 entertainment level. He's trying to make headlines. He's trying to rattle your cage. He's trying to piss off the media. He's trying to go against the agenda. He's trying to say, fuck the man. Is he actually like that in real life? For sure, but not at that level. He's at that level to make money. Because if he's not like that, we don't get Sean Strickland sure as hell ain't getting a title shot. Even though defensively, probably the best we've ever seen, it does not matter. He's not putting butts in the seat. You don't care. He doesn't have a fighting style where he cannot get on the mic and not rip a hot promo. He has a fighting style where he has to add that level to his game, which is exhausting. Ask Colby Covington. Colby Covington had to evolve to that in order for you to give a flying fuck about his fight. Chael Sonnen, who's the original. Chael Sonnen, this whole heel personality, all that stuff, he came up with that because no one gave a fuck about his fights. Even though he's fighting Paulo Filho, he's fighting these big fights, but until he started talking all that shit, he wasn't that exciting of a fighter. No one cared. So for Sean Strickland, people are like, you said going into fight week, you're going to stand and bang and you're going to, knock him out. Of course. So he's getting all this blowback now, like, oh, what the fuck? Thought you were going to go on your shield. You got duped, man. You got duped. It's like being upset at the Undertaker. He doesn't actually come from the fucking underworld. That's all this is. It's entertainment. They just happen to be professional fighters. It's no different than WWE. So for Sean Strickland, going into a fight, anytime a guy goes, I guarantee I'm going to knock him out, or I'm just going to stand and bang, I've been around too long. They're not going to just do that. They're not stupid. Sean Strickland didn't get to be the middleweight world champion of the world by fighting stupid. And then all of a sudden, he's down 3 rounds, and you guys are like, oh, I thought you were going to go out on your shield. What's that even? What's that mean? What's that mean? Just throw all caution in the wind and run face first like you're fucking Lisa and Bart Simpson and just get fucking knocked out? You know how good DDP is? If Sean Strickland were to say, fuck it, I have to win this fight, I'm just going to run forward and blast right hands, he's going to get literally knocked the fuck out. So for Strickland, he has a skill set that got him to this elite level, but once guys figure it out, you're kind of fucked. He doesn't have power. It's never been his thing. He's not going to knock somebody out with one punch. It's not going to happen. He's not a combination puncher. He's never thrown more than 3 punches. He's never sit in the pocket for you to fire back and counter. It's not in his DNA. It's not in his game plan. It's just not. So what you're asking from a guy, what you're saying is, well, all right, man, you're down 3 rounds. If Sean Strickland gets down 3 rounds, he's fucked in every single fight. If you're going to the 4th and Sean's down all 3, he's losing. It's never happening. He's not going to 10-8 anybody. He's not going to take him down, submit him. He's not going to take him down, ground and pound. It's not what he does. It's not what he does. It's like asking an F1 driver, hey, take your F1 car and go off-road. It's literally impossible. It's not happening. He does not have the other tools to do what you're asking. Even his coach, Nick Sick, who's arguably the best coach in the game, he's going, dude, you're doing exactly what you did the last fight. Yeah. Unfortunately, you ran into a guy named DDP who can negate what you're doing. You can't be the bully and pressure forward and just get off punches because he hits so fucking hard. He's disrupting your momentum. You're not just going to push forward and throw volume punches and win these rounds. You can't. He hits too hard. And also DDP is that guy. That guy that you keep saying, oh, die on your shield. I'll die in there. DDP's that guy. DDP's that guy. Because he has that skill set. He doesn't have the defensive skills that Strickland does. He doesn't even have the technique. But he has a good enough arsenal and a more variety on the spectrum where he can throw kicks, side kicks, head kicks, leg kicks, teeps. He can mix that up. He can throw combinations. He can do takedowns. So you have to worry about everything with him. With Strickland, you only have to worry about one thing. No kicks, no leg kicks. You don't have to really worry about a hook. You have to worry about the jab, number 1, and then occasionally a right hand. And nobody's better at that than him. But you get to a certain level where these high-level athletes go, got it. You pressure forward, you throw a jab, every now and then you throw a right hand. Sometimes you go to the body and the teep. That's all we have to worry about. Got it. And then all DDP's doing is banking rounds. And when he wins 3, it's over. It's over. Strickland doesn't even need to fight 5 rounds. Because if he doesn't win the first 3, there's no sense in fighting 4 and 5. He doesn't have the skill set to put you away. He's not going to throw it. Even if he decided to go out on his shield, that the internet likes to say, what's that mean for Strickland? Throwing bombs? What bombs do you speak of? What's he going to throw, a nasty Francis uppercut? It's not happening. Even if he decide to throw caution in the wind and fight with his hands down or throw combinations and throw crazy power left hooks or uppercuts, he doesn't have the power to knock out a guy like DDP. DDP's huge. He's in a no-win situation. It's literally mission impossible after round 3 if he doesn't bank rounds. After 3, see ya. Fold up shop. And Nick Sick's doing his best. Come on, dude. It's just like the first. You got to stand in. You got to disrupt. It's not happening. It's like asking me to speak Spanish. It's not in my arsenal. It's not fucking happening, dude. I'm 41. Quit asking me to learn Spanish. It's not happening. I don't have the resources. I've never had the resources. I've never worked on it. And then in the most critical moment when all the pressure's on the line and there's a killer, not just a killer, the best middleweight in the world, you're asking me to completely change my DNA? Well, it's stupid, isn't it? It's not realistic. But you guys want to see it. So when you say go out on a shield, define what that means. Define what that means. What's that mean? You think if Khabib got down rounds, dude, we got to get a finish here, start throwing bombs. What, again, where are these bombs? They've never had it in their arsenal. It does not exist. So finish them, throw caution to the wind, die on your shield. What the fuck does that mean? Maybe for Strickland means apply more pressure, stay in the pocket longer. All it means for him to go on your shield, increase the volume of jabs and maybe a right hand, maybe a few more straight rights. Hopefully you connect and wobble him. Hopefully you can get a 10-8 round, but you're not finishing DDP. That's insane. It's just not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. DDP's so damn tough and good. He's so fucking good. He's just good, man. He's just good. And Strickland sure as fuck can't win this fight when you look at his output compared to the first fight. That first fight, it was the perfect storm for him to get a decisive, controversial loss. You know? He lost. And so when you do half the output, there's not a chance you're going to win. It's just not happening. With his fighting style, you can look at those. You could just not even watch the fight, look at the first 2 rounds at Strickland's output and go, no, there's no way. There's no way. A guy who's not a power puncher, that's his output right now. Oh, man. He's losing this fight. And Sean didn't look, it wasn't his best outing either. I don't know, did he have staph? Was he on antibiotics, which affects his cardio? He just didn't seem up for the moment. The competitive nature wasn't there. On top of that, his nose was shattered. So even a strong gust of wind is going to bring you to your knees when you shatter your nose. It sucks. Been there. Crow Cop did it to me. It's terrible. Not to mention, most of the fans, unless you're a diehard Strickland fan, didn't even want this fight. People wanted Hamzat. But for a reason with his feet or something, they couldn't make it happen. Even DDP going into it goes, I wish it was Hamzat, but here we are with Strickland. Let's do it. So you got 2 lackluster performances in the main event and co-main event. I guess for DDP, for his legacy, it's good. You close the book on Strickland because there'd always be that fight was close. It's like Gustafsson and John Jones won. Close fight. People thought Gustafsson won that fight. Then they did the rematch. And then John Jones went, cool, check this out, and fucked him up. All right, okay, we're good. We don't need to see that again. Just like this one, 5-0, landslide victory. Don't ever need to see that again. Don't need to see it again. For DDP, he's fighting Hamzat next. Hands down, bar none. That's the next fight for him. Much different fight. For people who think DDP's out of that fight, you're out of your mind, dude. When you can give this guy respect. And beating Sean Strickland isn't going to put DDP over like you want to. He's still not the face of the division, even though he's the best. The legend of Izzy's still there. Even though he lost his last one to Imavov, even though he lost Strickland, even, with the DDP loss, that Izzy's been around for so long, he has such support, he's done such legendary stuff, the aura of Izzy's still hanging over the division. Now, DDP starches Hamzat, like puts it to him, now we're cooking with gas. Because he's going to fight. He finally closed the books on Strickland. You've never seen them fight again. That was a shutout. That's never happened again. Then he fights Hamzat, huge international star, the boogeyman, broke fucking Whitaker's front teeth, right? So that's scary. If he beats him now, and he's one of the only guys who can do it, he goes to 205 and he fights Alex. And he even kind of alluded to it. And he goes, is there not anybody? Is there no one else? And he's staring at Alex. And Alex doesn't like him. That's two. Hamzat, then Alex. Then you have a complete superstar if you can beat those guys. I like his odds against both guys. I like his odds against Hamzat. I think Hamzat's going to get him down, no doubt. Hamzat will get him down. But if he can, and his team's super wicked smart, if they can just drag his ass into the third with his size and cardio, good fucking luck with anybody in the middleweight division. And then when you get to Alex, that's a different story. We'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes, but that's a different story. There's ways he can win it. Much more difficult fight. But DDP has the chance to be a straight-up superstar. But he had to get past this kind of boring-ish Strickland fight.